Internal Affairs has a secret base there.
It's not a secret anymore.
So if you really want to know who the undercovers are in Internal Affairs, all you have to do is just sit in front of the fucking building, just take pictures of people coming out.
Oh, bro, I'm so stressed right now.
I'm listening so intently because I don't want to miss any more of detail, you know?
So they wipe me from the system where you look me up, I won't even show up in the system like as a cop.
Lucky Boys Podcast.
They don't realize the Asian network is very small, right? Very tight. If you go walking down the street and you get punched in the face, everybody knows.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
So it's like a small village.
Right. So when Jimmy got arrested, he was with another girl, a PR that he was taking home. Right. And when they picked him up, they came in plainclothes, raid jackets, whatever, and they picked him up, pulled him over, picked him up, and then the girl was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Right. So she calls the other owners and then other cops, and then the other owners call the other cops, and I'm there because I'm on an operation trying to get something on the chief's driver, right? So I'm there hanging out with the chief's driver on an operation. Then they go, "Hey, Steve, Jimmy just got picked up." I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
So you're getting calls from both sides.
Yeah, I just saw him.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, "Oh no, call the 109."
Did you know he was getting picked up?
No, they didn't tell me. So I called the 109, and they're like, "No, we don't have anybody here like that." I was like, "Oh, Internal Affairs." So I called my handlers. They're like, "Yeah, we got Jimmy." All right, cool. Why didn't you guys tell me? And I was like, "Oh, no.
Is that a standard operating procedure where they're supposed to contact you?
I'm the main undercover. I'm supposed to know these things so that I could prepare for it. So if they ask me, I know how to act towards it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So whatever the case is, I call them up. They're like, "Yeah, we got him, whatever, so forth and so on." All right, cool. So what should I tell them? "Oh, I don't know. Just tell them, Vice picked him up or something like that, like whatever." All right. And I'm like, "All right, cool. But you got to keep in mind, these are other cops that are looking for him too. So, they know people in Vice and stuff like that. So I can't just make up some shit like that."
It has to be a legit story. You can't.
Right.
You got to feel a legit story.
So I just went back and I was like, "Oh, I have no idea. He's not in 109. I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. I can't find him." Right. Next day, when the cops come up to me and go, "Yo, Jimmy's in Long Island City." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" In Long Island City, Internal Affairs has a secret base there, right at the foot of the Queensboro Bridge.
Well, it's not a secret anymore.
Well, it's actually known, I think.
Yeah, it was never a secret.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Well, for those listening that didn't know, I guess.
Yeah, whoever doesn't follow.
Here's the thing, though. All the main undercovers and stuff like that are in that building.
Okay.
Right? So cops know this building. So if you really want to know who the undercovers are in Internal Affairs, all you have to do is just sit in front of the fucking building, just take pictures of people coming out.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? So whatever the case is,
I can't believe it would be that simple.
yeah, it's that simple. So
Fuck. Wow.
I mean, you have other people that work in the building, but
familiar faces.
They know who the cops are because you come out with teams, you come out with your freaking bag and stuff like that, and like they know. They're not stupid, right? So whatever the case is, they're like, "Yo, Steve, Jimmy's in Long Island City." And I was like, "Okay, what the fuck does that mean?" And he's like, "Oh, Internal Affairs is in Long Island City." I was like, "Oh shit, how you know?" He's like, "Oh, his wife gave me his find my iPhone, password.
Yeah.
And I logged in and I tracked him to Long Island City."
Oh shit.
I was like, "Oh shit, fuck. What does that mean? Like he's fucking talking to Internal Affairs? Like IAB picked him up or something?" And they're like, "I think so. I don't know. We gotta find out."
You're just playing a role right now.
Right.
Like you're trying to throw off the
So
side.
I break off. I call my fucking handlers right away, and I'm like, "Yo, does Jimmy have his phone on him?" It's like, "Yeah, he's on him right now." I was like, "Are you fucking stupid? Turn the fucking phone off." Like, Why? What's up? Dude, they tracked his phone to Long Island City.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "One of the cops, Benny Wong, he fucking tracked the phone back to Long Island City, and he's saying that Jimmy's at Long Island City, and they thinking that Internal Affairs picked him up, blah 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 blah." "Oh shit, let me call you right back."
Yo,
Boom,
that's
takes
crazy.
the phone away.
That's a
turns the
major
phone.
oversight for an intelligence group.
Yes. So
That is crazy.
the whole case was like sloppy. So now I have to save the case because Jamie is supposed to be the main undercover, main
CI.
person to blame, right? Otherwise, they gotta use me, right? So I had to save Jimmy credibility somehow. So we made up this thing where ICE picked him up, all right, and how
ICE, like immigration.
Yeah, immigration, because he doesn't have papers. He's a I guess quote unquote illegal immigrant, right? Mm-hmm. And they even tried to deport him once, and China didn't want him back.
What?
Yeah, China was like, no, you keep that motherfucker. We don't want that dirtbag. Like, you keep him.
Oh, right? Shit.
So
they can do that?
Yeah.
So where would someone go if you can't go to like your home country?
That's why Jimmy's still here.
Well, what if U.S. is like, well, we don't want him either?
That's why Jimmy's still here. U.S. is not going to be able to kick him out because Jimmy could just claim asylum or something, you know? Like,
I didn't
if I go back, they're going to kill me, right? So, whatever the case is, they don't want him back there. So, I remember that back in my head, that they tried to get deported once and they didn't want him back. And so, you know, we made that up. They got papers done from ICE, supposedly fake papers done. Mm-hmm. It came straight from the top of ICE.
So to make it look all legit.
Right.
So the people inside looking at it can vouch for it.
Because the lieutenant was like pressing Jimmy and everybody else. Tell Jimmy to show us papers that he got arrested by ICE. We want to see the paperwork. ICE gives you paperwork. We want to see paperwork. So eventually, you know, they worked on it. They got the paperwork, gave it to Jimmy. Jimmy produced it, and he's like, "Hey, Jimmy's good. He showed us the paperwork, whatever."
But at this point, so Jimmy knew why they picked him up, right?
Yes, because they flipped him.
So he's already flipped.
But they don't know.
But nobody else knows that.
He doesn't know that I'm undercover.
Well, thank goodness.
Right.
Wow, because that could be major trouble.
Supposedly, that's what they said.
It could be double cross.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Supposedly, that's what they said. So now, me and Jimmy are supposed to
I'm so stressed right now.
I'm listening so intently because I don't want to miss any of detail, you know?
So here's the thing, right? So me and Jimmy go now to try to pay off Detective Yam at his barbecue, his house party. I think right there and then Jimmy probably gave Yam the heads up again.
Jimmy gave who?
Yam, Detective Yam, the heads up. And so from that point on, I
wait, so Jimmy's playing both sides?
Yes. So from that point on, I figured...
So Yam knows.
Yam knows.
He knows the truth because Jimmy's playing both sides.
That Internal Affairs picked him up and asked them to pay him off and stuff like that.
So they know his bullshit. So Yam knows his bullshit.
Right, because Yam invited him to his barbecue, right? Then all of a sudden, he had a fight with Jimmy where he's not hanging out with Jimmy no more. But I had my street to the ears and people were like, what are you talking about? I saw Yam and Jimmy at so-and-so the other day. Like,
so that was just the front cover.
Right. And I'm like, no, they're not fighting. So... But Internal Affairs swore, no, they're fighting. No, Jimmy didn't flip back. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure Jimmy flipped back. Because he kept on saying, oh, I can't pay him. He won't take the money, which is bullshit. Right? Oh, he doesn't have the chance. There's so many people in the room. I can't do it. Yo, I had so many operations where I purposely left Jimmy and Yam in the room by themselves, right? And told Internal Affairs, this is his chance right now. And then they would be like, oh, he didn't end up doing it. Ooh. Right? So forth and so on. So whatever the case is, this guy's burnt, and they end up using me as the main witness in the thing. So they broke that promise with keeping me there, and their original thing was, oh, we'll arrest you with them,
right,
and then act like you were guilty too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then you'll beat your charges, and then we'll transfer you back in, right? And
it's so like the Honey Brasco, bro.
Right?
Yeah,
like when they
yeah. So that never happened, right? And
this is all public knowledge right now? Like,
it's all public knowledge there, yeah.
Have you ever shared your story?
I share my story with the newspapers and stuff like that. It's out in the newspaper, but not like in full details, all right? So, now here's the thing. The day they arrested Yam, they picked me up, and they're like, they set me up in the hotel room. They brought him to a hotel room. Put me in one hotel room, put him in a different hotel room. They got the camera set up. I could see him on the monitor, like, oh, see what's going on, whatever, blah, blah. And they fucked up so many times where it was like, Yam was like, okay, I want a lawyer. I want my union lawyer. Oh, you can't have a union lawyer. Dude, your right is to have any lawyer you want. But they told him you can't have a union lawyer. Right?
Oh, and that's recorded.
Right.
Oh, fuck. Not admissible.
So then he's like, "Oh, you have to,
and Yam knew
get
that.
your own lawyer
because he's a cop. I mean, he must have known. Like, I got you, bitch.
Right. So he used that as one of the bargaining chips to lower his charges because they went from felony charges and 1 year jail time, like actual jail time,
Wow, for a cop, and that's a big deal, like you were saying.
Right. But because of how badly internal affairs messed up the case, because when I was working with the ADA, after they picked me up, they wiped me from the system, right? And everybody knew right there, straight from the back, where this guy Lee go. He just disappeared. You know what I mean? So they wiped me from the system. Where you look me up, I won't even show up in the system, like as a cop or whatever, right? Last thing it would show is no 109 precinct. So I became like wiped from the system, true undercover status or whatever, right? And I was working with the ADA on a case, like putting the case together and stuff like that. And at first, when he requested for all the files, they gave him like maybe a couple of CDs or whatever files. And he's like, Steve, this doesn't look like everything. Like, is this everything? Like, how motherfucking no? Like, this is only like one incident or something like that. Like, he's like, oh, all right. So let me call him up. Call for more files. I want everything. I told you I want everything. And then their excuse was, oh, yeah, you know, we're still making copies of it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you told me this was everything. I want everything, right? So they gave him more. I'm like, that's still not everything. And then he called him a third time and was like, I want motherfucking everything. Give me everything that's connected to this case. And then they finally gave boxes and boxes of the case. So why are you doing that to the ADA? You know, because they know they messed up in there somewhere. Right? And they didn't want to give up all the files, all the recordings and stuff. Because when I got the Chiefs recordings and stuff like that on recording, when I brought it back, they would say, oh, yeah, it didn't record, or the device ran out of battery, we couldn't get it, whatever, or the recording got lost, or whatever, right? And mind you, they gave me like 3 different devices, right? And on top of that, they bugged my phone, where they could send a text message and turn on my camera anytime or turn on my mic anytime, so forth and so on. But they would say, oh, there was no internet connection, so it didn't upload to the server and we lost the audio file. We couldn't rip it from your phone. It got lost. But it's funny, every time it's something not related to Yam or Sung, when it's other cops, it's lost.
Suspicious right there.
Yeah. So I'm like, come on, man, why are you playing this game? You know? So whatever the case is, the ADA was pissed off that they messed up on the case, right? Where they messed up on paperwork and court papers, filing the report and stuff like that. And so they had to bump it down to misdemeanors, no jail time, no bail, RR. The lieutenant got to retire. Yes, he got his full pension, got to retire,
God.
Right?
Wow.
Now, the reason for that is not their fault. There's a federal law that needs to be changed, right? The federal law states you get to keep your full pension, right? If once you do your 20 years. So you have to be convicted by certain felony charges.
Oh, so he got it dropped enough.
Before you retire, right? So since he had over 20 years, he could go into One Police Plaza and just put in his papers like, I'm out. And then by the time it goes through court and you're convicted of a felony charge, you already got your pension. And once you get your pension, that's it. It's protected.
Oh, shit.
So they need to change that where it's like you could
where
lose
they could
your
retroactively
pension.
go back and take your pension.
Right.
Oh, shit.
If it happened during while you're still working, they could still go back. And
so Yam retired?
Yam retired. He vested out. It's called retiring early. You vest out. Mm-hmm. He got whatever he put into his pension.
Okay.
Right. Now,
so it's like a portable pension.
Right.
They have, okay.
So mind you, midway through this, right, he was a regular White Shield police officer, right? Regular Shield. He got promoted to detective during the case. And we knew already then he was corrupt. And I was like, you guys going to promote him anyway as a detective? Because your pay goes up, right? And now you get to retire as a detective.
And he gets a higher pension.
Right. So I'm like, you guys going to still promote him? And they're like, yeah, we have to, because if we don't, he's going to know something is up. You know what I mean? So he made out like that. So he made out. The only cop that got fired, right, was it's a PO.
Okay. So low level.
Okay, low level.
James Yu. Sorry, James Yu. Okay. You guys might know him. James Yu. Great guy, right? He comes from a family with money, right? He has no reason to be corrupt at all. The only thing that he did wrong was he's working one day. His direct supervisor at that time was the Lieutenant Sung. And he's like, hey, James, do me a favor. Look up this guy on the computer. And James thinks nothing of it. because supervisors tell cops to look up people all the time.
Normal.
Yeah, so he goes in the computer, and he looks them up, and he sees whatever, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Lou, this is what you asked for," right? They got him for misuse of computer.
Stop it.
Yes, I swear to God. So this is where all the sacrificial lambs come in.
Right.
All right. So instead of sacrificing the big chiefs and stuff like that, the people that are controlling it, James Yu is the only one that got fired because one, he's Chinese, right? They wanted to make it seem like it was an Asian thing, right? And it was an isolated incident. So they took James Yu and they put him, and they said that misuse of computer, whatever, and for criminal association. He was the only one that told the truth at the GO. A GO is IAB comes in and starts interviewing you and grilling you. What happened here, blah, blah, blah. You were involved in this incident. Just tell us what happened, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He was the only one that told the truth. The only one that told the truth, and he got fired for it. I even testified at his trial, right? And I was like, James Yu is the only officer that was wrongly accused, whatever and stuff. These guys did nothing.
And the jurors found him guilty?
No, there is no jury. It's a kangaroo court, like
what does that mean?
It's a BS court in NYPD, where you have a commissioner who's a judge or whatever, or inspector, he's a judge, whatever.
So there's one person judging the future of your life.
No, this is like charge and inspect. So this is like internal court.
It's the NYPD charging themselves.
Oh, right. I see.
So
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like if I give you a command discipline, I want to take away vacation days for this, and then I go, no, I'm not signing that. Okay, then we take it to charge and specs, and you prove yourself in this court, right? But usually when you fight it and you lose, they give you a more harsher punishment for fighting them on it.